What's happening? I got a message. I want to speak about something I was touching base on in another video. Excuse me. About businesses, organizations, nonprofits, specifically homeless shelters that have been operating unethically, unjustly, unrighteously, just downright evil. See, I want to bring you back to when I got into my situation a couple of years ago when I was forced to live in a homeless shelter. I was forced to live at Friends of the Homeless shelter, Springfield, Massachusetts. When I first got here, I assumed that this was a place where people could get help. I assumed that this is a place where people would, be able to find some relief and some resources for the things that they faced and the things they got going on. Boy, was I wrong, just to be honest. When I first arrived at the Friends of the Homeless shelter, things seemed to be, okay. It's a homeless shelter. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be drama. There's going to be fights. There's going to be a lot of nonsense going on. But it doesn't have to be, completely negative, you know. So I went in there with the mindset that, okay, take it for what it is. It's not going to be perfect, but you could use it for whatever you can use it for. Elevate yourself, elevate your situation, and that's what my mindset was. You know, when I first got here, about 2.5, 2, 3 years ago, um, I volunteered to be the laundry attendant. And I did that for a year and a half. During my time there, I was harassed. I was gang stalked. You know, I was mistreated. You know, uh, faced with a lot of racism by staff members and the residents. Um, but I want to highlight a situation that happened and that continues to happen at this Friends of the Homeless shelter. I had a friend named by the name of James Clements. We lived in the basement together. Um, I was still doing the laundry at that time. Uh, Around 7 o'clock p.m. is the time where we're able to go outside and hang out. Uh, for 2 hours um, amongst the facility. So that was our routine around 7 o'clock when we would come back to the shelter for our break. We would go outside, hang out, smoke our weed, talk, shoot the shit, things of that nature. Um, we've been doing that, for as long as, we were introduced together when I was at the shelter. He was a cool dude. And, you don't meet a lot of, genuine people in a lot of places like homeless shelters, prisons, but they are there. So we hung out with each other all the time. But there was one instance when we were scheduled to hang out. You know, uh, we were scheduled to hang out on a specific day. When that time came, 7 o'clock, I noticed that he didn't show up. He wasn't at his bunk. He wasn't at the shelter. So I assumed that he was just going to be late because it's happened before. I didn't want to jump to conclusions. He must have had something that was going on. Something must have popped up. That's fine. But he didn't show up for the whole entire day. I called him. He didn't answer. He didn't return the phone call. So I did get a little concerned because I didn't know what was going on. And, it was unlike him. The whole day passed. Next day, he didn't call. He didn't show up. Nothing. Just nothing. No answer. So it was around 5 o'clock that next day, 5 o'clock p.m., heading to the cafeteria at Friends of the Homeless. I ran into a specific certain staff member. The staff member is going to inform me, hey, Rashawn, did you hear what happened to your boy? He's dead. Just like that. While that individual, gave me that news, I noticed they had a smirk on their face. I'm like, wait a minute. Why in the world would an individual, a staff member, be breaking the news to me of a death of an individual that they knew that I was close to with a smirk on their face? Well, why would it be that? Why would that be the situation? So I just looked at that individual and I just walked away. Didn't say nothing. Just kept on moving. I don't got time for no bullshit. So as I kept, going on my day, I was pissed hearing about the news, the death of my friend, but I knew something wasn't right because beforehand, you know, there's been a lot of things going on at the shelter. There's been a lot of harassment. There's been a lot of unethical behaviors going on by way of the staff here. You know, there's been people dying on left and right that don't make the news. They don't make the paper. It's not talked about. It's kept hidden. It's kept quiet. It's like a big secret around here. When I first got here, no lie, there must have been deaths every 2 weeks. Someone dying, 1, 2 people, sometimes more, sometimes 3, 4 deaths, 5 in a month. None of them make the news. None of them make the paper. It's not talked about. Nothing. It's like it's brushed under the rug purposely. Now, going back to my friend James, I warned him, because we talked about the deaths. He knew about it. He was here longer than I was. We talked about the deaths that was going on. So we said we got to be careful where we getting our weed from, because it's not just overdoses like they're portraying it to be. People are being poisoned. People are being killed. People are being poisoned by fentanyl and other drugs and other means. They're just not telling the truth about it. So I warned him. I said, we got to be careful about where we're getting our weed from, who we're getting our weed from. They can put anything in our weed, try to take us out. I wish I would have dived more into that situation, because I believe that's what happened to him. When he went to his cousin's house, when he didn't show up that day, they alleged that he died in his chair. He went in the chair, went to sleep, and just didn't wake up. That's not normal. He wasn't the healthiest man in the world. None of us really are, but he didn't have any illnesses that were detrimental to his health that would make him just suddenly pass away like that. So I knew something wasn't right. I knew what really happened. I knew that someone poisoned my boy James Clements. That's been happening at the Friends of the Homeless Shelter over and over and over again. I have other roommates and other bunkmates and other people that I know that have passed away, that have been killed, taken out. Don't make the news, don't make the paper, not talked about. They just end up dying and they move on, with the business. This place is evil. This place is sick. Not only have they been harassing us, gang stalking, people have been poisoned left and right. Our mail is being stolen currently. There's staff members that are holding onto my mail because I've been speaking out about what's been going on here. The staff members here are holding onto my mail because I've been speaking out, because I know what's going on, because I'm not afraid to stand up for what's right. I'm not afraid to speak out. I don't lay down. So it is what it is with this Friends of the Homeless bullshit that's been going on. This shit is going to come to an end, I'm not going to sit up here and be quiet about shit that I know that's going on, that shit that I know that's not right. I stand up. That's what other people need to do. There's too many people in this world that are sitting around watching people get fucked up, watching, situations that are playing out evil and malicious intent against others. They're not saying nothing about it. It's time to wake up. It's time to speak out. Peace.